Everyone has to mobilize in their own right. But as a community, whether it's black, whether it's white, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christian, whether it's Jewish, we need to all come together, because this is a national problem. This is not a problem that's just happening in Cleveland. It's happening in Chicago. It's happening in Detroit. It's happening in Atlanta. It's happening in Los Angeles. It's happening in Miami. It's happening in Brooklyn. This shirt that I have on, this is what made me call to action. A year ago, I was in the hospital getting a hernia operation. This young lady's name was Chanel Petro Nixon. 16-year-old honor student in Brooklyn. Walked out of house on Father's Day to go get a job application in Applebee's. Never made it home. Ended up in a garbage bag on the street 3 days later. When I got out the hospital, I said, what is going on? Have we become so callous that we will allow our children to be thrown out with the garbage? I was talking to Brother Samar. He told me it was a situation with a young lady a few years ago that happened in the same capacity. There is a sick mindset in this country, and we as a community must start coming together to work to eradicate this violence. That's right. It's everybody's problem happening in everybody's community. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's not just gun violence. It's not just gang violence. Right. You've got domestic violence. Yeah. You've got child abuse. Yeah. You've got sexual abuse. You've got all these different forms of violence that are going through our community. When an entire family can go and chase down a little girl, 15 years old, hold the people who try to help her at bay, stab a young man 5 or 10 times in the back because they're trying to stop them from doing something to this young lady. The grandmother's playing pepper spray. The other one got...
I got standing behind me an OG of the Crips. He's not gang banging. He's providing a solution. He's on security. I got a Crip OG standing right in front of me on security right there. So what we're saying, brothers and sisters, is that transformation is possible. Right. You can go from being a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's right. You can go from being a thugster to a brother. You can go from gangsterhood to brotherhood. And that is what we're talking about here today. As we develop these partnerships and these collaborations, I want y'all to know we're not anti-police. That's right. In fact, I worked for the safety department for a few years. Work together. I was a member of the gang unit for about 10 years. So we doing what we got to do. But in that spirit, I'm going to bring forward a brother who's my brother and your brother, who's the deputy chief of operations for the Cleveland Police Department. He don't want to speak, but he said he want to come up and let y'all see him. Where is he at? Deputy chief folks, come on up here, brother. You don't have to say nothing. He's standing shoulder to shoulder with us. There's 2:30 in the morning. I get a call. Hey, Samad, I got somebody in the house, man. They don't want to come out. He's talking all kind of language. I don't understand it. When he called, I came. So I didn't have to shoot the house up. They didn't have to kick the
peace. And the goal that we're looking for is that the community joins us in this fight. It's our fight, and we all have to be part of it. Enough is enough.
Here's a sign. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. Partnership. Again, collaboration. There are about 25 organizations out here today. 8th Street. By a gang of thugs, by a gang of hoodlums. And this gang of hoodlums and thugs had confronted him and his cousin while they were on the way to their aunt's house to play Xbox. Cowards. And this group of cowards, this group of thugs, walked up to these young men and confronted them and asked them, where you from? And they didn't want to engage them and said, brother, we're not here for violence. We're just going to our aunt's house. And his response, you ain't got no hood pass. This little gangster, I heard his name was Foo-Foo, might attend Glenville High School. Somebody told me he hangs out at the rec center. If you see something, say something. Because we ain't scared. We won't run from you, we'll run to you. And you better hope the police get you before we do. That's how we roll. Now, we're not preaching violence, we're preaching capture and turn over to the proper authority. Everybody can do that. That's the Good Samaritan's law. See, we get confused about stuff. We're not confused. If you are out here shooting at these young males and they're robbing and pulling out knives and assaulting, some of us are going to get engaged, and we love to rumble. But this young man didn't want to rumble. He wanted peace. And because he wanted peace, he walked away. And a young man pulled up his little white t-shirt with his little sissy butt and showed him a gun with his little punk self and chased this young man all the way from 117th, him and his cousins, to 124. All alone. People are riding by, watching, standing on the corner, looking, standing behind shades, peeping, trying to get away from something that they could see was an act of terror. Somebody even said a couple zone cars rolled past and just looked and kept going. We ain't scared, we're going to point it out. 15 minutes later, he was shot in the leg. And a few hours later, he was pronounced dead. See, that's why we have to have a call to action. Yeah. We're not here to posture. We're not here for no political action. We're not here for no socializing. We're here to deal with the fact that this young man who could have been a CEO, this young man who could have been a president or a city councilman or a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, this young man who could have been a father of a family, this young man who could have been a leader, is now in a cemetery because of the madness and somebody else who look just like him, who wears the same clothes, who eats the same food, who dances to the same music, who watches the same TV shows and catches the same hell. But he hates himself. And because he hated himself, he hated that which was a reflection of him. I don't want y'all to get this twisted now. Let's think about this. Same age, same food, same clothes, same music, same kind of neighborhood, same. Same God. But Willie Lynch is in the mind. Right. Willie Lynch is the poison. But Willie Lynch is the conspirator. But Willie Lynch tells you to hate which looks like you. Hate that which is a reflection of you. If I love myself and I love this young brother, then I got to see myself in him. And I can't pull a gun out on him because he's from a different neighborhood. I don't decide where I live if I'm a teenager, and you didn't decide where you live, you fool. You ain't paying no rent. Your name ain't St. Clair. Your name ain't at 117th Street. You don't know that. You don't know nothing on the street. You sitting on the sidewalk selling dope. Praying this morning.
Yeah. All right, Colin. All right.
I'm standing here for Brandon today, but as well, I'm standing